Alright, guys. So, this is another what-if story. What-if scenario. Where basically, in here, we're going to talk about, like, what if Daredevil protected Bludhaven? So, this is another, like, I enjoy doing these. Like, this is another one where we take this hero, put it in a different city, and what would the effect be? So that's really what we're going to be doing here, is like kind of really talk about like what would it be like if Daredevil was... We didn't have Nightwing, we don't have... and for Marvel, on the Marvel end of things, we don't have Elektra, we don't have Foggy Nelson. Like, let's just kind of... that's the theme of this story, is that it's a... it's basically a whole different universe. So, let's get started with this whole scenario of Daredevil in Bludhaven. Why Bludhaven? Because I've done Gotham a lot, and Bludhaven could use some love in more ways than one. So let's get started. So what would it be like if Daredevil, instead of Nightwing, it was Daredevil protecting the streets? Really, costume-wise, it wouldn't be that different from Nightwing. Only Daredevil wouldn't be cracking jokes like Dick would be. He'd be out here, like, cracking skulls, scaring people, and kind of being like, yeah, you know, in Gotham they have the Bat, but in Bludhaven they have the Devil. So, I kind of feel like Matt would really play into that, like, Bludhaven's so awful that instead of a Bat that guards the city, it's the Devil. And Daredevil would be very much, kind of like keeping in line with Batman, where he'd be like, he'd be very much like in the shadows and stalking the night and just scaring the shit out of people. Because if you saw a guy in a red suit who isn't Santa Claus coming at you, you'd probably shit your pants. Like, let's be very real here. Like, it would be a very big pants-shitting moment for everyone abound. It would, like, that's how I feel, is that Matt would really play into the whole, like, I'm the devil of Bludhaven, and and I'm going to fuck you up. Now, Bludhaven is very much different from New York. You see, Bludhaven, a lot of people, like, the big thing with Bludhaven is that it's like Gotham, it's like Gotham but worse. But the way Dick Grayson, like, kind of differentiates that is that Bludhaven doesn't have the level of crazy that Gotham has. It just has cruelty. Like, it's just a very cruel, broken city that just kind of, like, seeps off of like, the more violent, more cruel, like, just mean-spirited, it's like a more broken Gotham. And Bludhaven is a vastly corrupt city. If you thought Gotham's corruption was bad, it doesn't hold a fucking candle to Bludhaven. So Daredevil would not only be like battling, you know, drug dealers and thugs and gangs and whoever. Daredevil would also be battling like one of the most corrupt police systems out there. You see, in New York, there are several cops who really like believe and support Daredevil. There are a massive amount of police officers. I said police officers. I'm very tired. Of police officers who support and back Daredevil, and even like have kept him out of being arrested. They've kept him multiple times from being, you know, captured or arrested and put on trial because they believe in him, and he's even saved cops. Now, Bludhaven, it would be much different, where almost 90% of the police officers there are all on the take to one guy, Blockbuster. And let's be real, Blockbuster would totally work as a Daredevil villain. He is a more, like, he's a superhuman version of Kingpin. That's really what he is that he is the superhuman version of Kingpin, and he is a guy you just don't fuck with. He, unbreakable skin, superhuman strength. Matt would have a tough time because Blockbuster owns the city, and Blockbuster just rules that city rules Bludhaven with an iron fist. So Matt would be fighting an uphill battle against politicians who would be Blockbuster would be like this devil guy, this weird Daredevil fella. You know, this freak is I don't know what his game is, but I want you to run a smear campaign. Kind of like what he's done to Nightwing in the past. Now, would there be cops who would support Daredevil? Yeah, but they're very few and far between. Daredevil would be running from the, Matt would be running from the cops all the time because they'd be like, yeah, Blockbuster put out a massive hit on you. So even the cops would be like, yeah, I want in on that. The politicians would be in on that. And it wouldn't be just, Daredevil dealing with that. Matt Murdock would still be a lawyer in this scenario, so he would be fighting a constant uphill battle, protecting his clients, the poor and downtrodden, and just kind of the people, who are just crushed under Blockbuster's boots by a corrupt judicial system. And Matt would be constantly fighting as both Daredevil and Matt Murdock to protect these people's civil, protecting this city. He would be constantly beaten down. Like, yeah, in New York there were corrupt city officials in a lot of his comics, but the difference is that there were a lot of good, honest cops and civil servants. That's not the case here. Matt would, if you thought Matt would be self-destructive before, Matt would be even more just emotionally beat down and be more like kind of throwing himself more into being Daredevil a lot more. He would just be constantly throwing himself into being Daredevil again and again and again, and it would just like fuck him up. I think it would just really like kind of fuck him up because he could have moments where he could be Matt Murdock for for a little bit, but then he would just be like, fuck, I gotta throw myself back into this again. So yeah, I also think that Daredevil would, like Heartless, the new villain that Nightwing is battling, would also make a great Daredevil villain. Really, like, yeah, Nightwing's villains could easily be Daredevil villains, but you could say that with a lot of Batman characters either way. But yeah, would Daredevil have a hard time? Hell yeah. Also, he'd probably be banging a lot of people. Like Mayor Zuko, Matt would probably be trying to get in Mayor Zuko's pants. A lot. And I do mean that as Tony Zuko's daughter / Dick Grayson's half-sister. So, it's a whole thing. Once I'm currently reading through the Nightwing run, the first volume, Mount Vernon Kid's, aka Chris, my good friend, aka the Mount Vernon Kid, sent me Nightwing Volume 1. I'm currently reading that, so I'll talk more about that when I do my review. But anyway, so you guys tell me in the comments below, what do you think it would be like if Daredevil was Bludhaven's hero? Just comment below, let me know. Other than that, hope y'all enjoyed this. I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.